I'm Kendra Cook, your host for the DCTV News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, Colorado. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association, which is the special district association responsible for bringing the area free to access TV stations over the air by antenna. This is a community TV station. If there's a news story or event information that you would like to share, you can call us. The number is 970-677-4119. If you're a business or organization, we welcome you to find out more about sponsorship opportunities for banners or video segments run on the channel. It's very affordable. This is the Thursday program, which is aired at noon, 2 and 6 p.m. It's also available on demand online at both our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page. This is the program for January 30th, 2020, DCTV's News at Noon. The Dove Creek Press reported on last week's Board of County Commissioners meeting for Dolores County from January 21st, 2020. Some of the highlights included the mandatory weed control plan presentation, which was adopted, as well as the discussion on changing 12002, which was related to Scion, and the letter of approval of the Dolores County 2020 reorganization. Both of those unanimously passed, and it was a cap for paid time off for county employees, and the employee handbook amendment approval was also adopted. So the commissioners read and approved Resolution 12002 and shortly after approved Resolution 12003 as well. That's the resolution approving and designating public depositories, while Resolution 12003 is setting forth signatory and attestation authority. All technical jargon. The Treasurer's semi-annual report was read and approved and is published in this week's DC Press for the public to view. And as to the BLM update, it commenced with Representative Connie Clemenson discussing the RESTORE grant, which stands for Restoration and Stewardship of Outdoor Resources and the Environment. This is a, quote, new strategic partnership among Great Outdoors Colorado, the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation, Gates Family Foundation, Colorado Department of Natural Resources, Colorado Parks and Wildlife, and the Colorado Water Conservation Board, established to fund large-scale habitat restoration and stewardship projects across several habitat priorities. They mentioned wanting projects that cross arbitrary boundaries such as BLM, private land, and county land. The commissioners decided to talk about this further at a working group meeting they were hoping would happen on around the 30th today. There were some discussions about previous meetings each commissioner attended, as well as information sharing about the safety circuit rider discussion. As far as the reporter understood, this is a group that will help assess our county roads and tell us which roads we need to improve and help pay for the improvements. However, there seemed to be some changes that the program had, or at least some confusion as to whether the county would be the ones telling them which roads we need to update, or if they would send professionals. No action was taken on this discussion. The agenda also mentioned a Forest Service update by Derek Padilla, but it's understanding that he was not able to make the meeting due to the weather. The motion to adjourn was made at 11:42 a.m., and with that, the meeting ended. And the Dove Creek Press also covered the town board meeting from January 23rd in Dove Creek. One of the main highlights was the topic of water. What is on many people's minds in Dove Creek? The water quality. Chris Kramer and Michael Trefry of Evoqua Water Technologies were conferenced into the meeting to talk about chlorine dioxide. Mayor Martin stated that the board is looking into chlorine dioxide for several reasons. One, to achieve lower total THM. Two, increase residual chlorine at the end of the line, and three, increase contact time of the chlorine and the water. Originally, the town was looking into aeration and solar alternatives to help meet the clean water requirements. But with the use of a chlorine dioxide generator inside of the treatment plant, these additional options will most likely be unnecessary. It would increase the contact time and also eliminate the need to inject additional chlorine after the water leaves the plant. A win-win situation. Estimates are that the THMs would be cut in half, or possibly even better. It would also remove iron and manganese and improve the water's taste. Water is still on the minds of most residents after last month's ominous letter that was addressed at a general open meeting at the beginning of January, and the impact to the community maybe a financial one as well. Town tap water fees would most likely raise by approximately $3 a month, but the water would be cleaner, safer, taste better, and meet all requirements necessary for municipal water distribution, even the new requirements not yet here. Trustee Ernst motioned to approve the one-year lease of the equipment pending legal review of the contract. Trustee Allen seconded, and the vote was unanimous in favor. The new generator should be in place before June, and the filter will be renewed before that. Another topic was the DOLA grant opportunity to codify town ordinances and publish them on the town's website. Annexation was another topic of interest for potential future growth. All agreed this is a process that should happen, but caution would be necessary. Town Attorney Mike Green asked that a vote be held off until further research could be completed. Then Sheriff Wilson reported that the guys have been very busy and have been, quote, working their rear ends off. A new deputy is currently in post-training, and all are hoping that he will be 100% for the 4th of July celebrations. The office has also hired a courtroom security officer that may also be doing some town code enforcement on the weekends or on other people's days off. The office is also upgrading their VHS radio system and computer systems, and will be even more ready for the upcoming fire season. Also, a deputy may be training as a fire investigator. When questioned about OHV use in town, Sheriff Wilson stated that there have been virtually no problems. The only item of note being an explanation to a driver that the highway must be crossed at a right angle only. Lastly, he stated that the new department pickup truck and a special drug enforcement vehicle will be here soon. And from the Journal's coverage with a photo courtesy Cortez Fire Protection District. 2 women and a man fell through the ice on the pond at Parque de Vida Park shortly before 3 p.m. on Wednesday. The women were rescued by Cortez firefighters and police officers after the man was able to make his way to shore. Cortez Fire Protection District Chief Jay Balfour said the women were transported to Southwest Memorial Hospital to be treated for severe hypothermia. The man, who self-rescued, was also sent to the hospital for a medical check. Balfour estimated the women were in the pond for about 10 minutes. Quote, to be in frozen water for 10 minutes, only in street clothes, jeans and a jacket. Man, that's pretty chilly, Balfour said. Balfour didn't have names for the 3, but he said alcohol impairment may have been a contributing factor, although he was not sure of that. The trio fell into the pond, which is 12 feet deep at its deepest point, about in its center, he said. Balfour did not know why the trio was walking across the mostly frozen pond. 2 firefighters in rescue suits, which Balfour said are heavy-duty dry suits that can be attached to ropes, went into the pond to retrieve the 2 women. Police pulled the firefighters, who were then holding the women, to shore. Balfour said police arrived on scene first and they threw ropes to the women, but they were unable to muster the strength to hold onto the lines. Balfour said the rescue was not the first ice rescue in the pond. He said people fall through the pond ice about every other year. Quote, it happens more often than it should, he said. We even get reports of kids playing on the ice. Obviously, it's not safe and people should not be walking on the ice. And we know it's quite cold out there, especially with the north winds. Always be very aware of frostbite potential and hypothermia for you and your animals. So now let's take a look at our local winter weather outlook. Today, mostly sunny with a high near 34 degrees. North winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Keep those wind chills factors in play. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 15. North winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour and more gusts as high as 30 tonight. So it will be very chilly again. Friday, sunny with a high near 37 degrees with north winds around 10 miles an hour. And Friday night, mostly clear with a low down to around 19 degrees. Again, the winds from our north-northeast remain around 5 miles an hour. But it does look like a warm-up for the weekend. Saturday, sunny with a high near 43 degrees. North winds around 5 miles an hour. We love to see the 40s. Saturday night, clear with a low around 22, and even warmer for Sunday, sunny with a high near 46. Sunday night, mostly cloudy and a low of around 23, but hold on. The start for February, we are still very much in the winter mode. Monday, we're back to some snow showers possibly, or likely, mainly after 11 a.m. in the morning on Monday. Cloudy with a high near 34 degrees, and that continues into Monday night with more chance for snow showers, mostly cloudy and a low, chilly low to 13 degrees. Overnight into Tuesday, we're still seeing some lingering chances of snow showers in the morning. However, it should clear out and then become sunny. But the high for Tuesday won't crack the freezing mark, hitting a high just near 28 degrees for Tuesday. Tuesday night, mostly clear and an even colder night with a low around 10 or possibly single digits. And now, back to the news. From the Duck Creek Press, report and photo by Lynn Bartels. Running 2 elections is always a challenging thing for Colorado's county clerks, but this year they'll be operating a 3rd one, the presidential primary. Trying to find enough people to work for the presidential primary in March, the primary in June, and the general in November during a tight job market was one of the issues discussed at the Colorado County Clerks Association's 3-day winter conference held in Colorado Springs. Clerks and their staffers turned out in record numbers for the conference, attending workshops dealing with their varied duties, including motor vehicle registrations and document recording, all requiring delivering customer service. Dolores County Clerk Lana Hancock, who took office in January 2019, will be running her first general election. Quote, "Any and all information and knowledge we receive at these trainings are valuable in helping us feel confident in running 3 elections this year," she said. With the process of elections being under major scrutiny, we will continue to have concerns and do our best to be proactive. The conference ended January 22nd with a day-long election security exercise, Election Preparedness for Infrastructure and Cybersecurity, or EPIC. It was hosted by Secretary of State Gina Griswold and intended to prepare county clerks and other election officials with various worst-case scenarios that could potentially impact the election process. Hancock said the EPIC exercise was one of the highlights of the conference, along with networking with other clerks and talking one-on-one to vendors. Each clerks conference has a theme, and this time it was Back to the Future during the banquet when clerks and their staffs finally have a chance to let loose. A number dressed in 80s garb, scrunchies held up their hair, and they donned leg warmers. The 80s were a different time. Colorado's population at the start of the decade was 2.9 million. Eligible voters participated on Election Day at polling places. Colorado now has 5.7 million people. Neighborhood polling places are gone, replaced by a mail ballot system and vote centers. Voters can start voting 22 days before an election, and they can also register to vote on Election Day. One thing hasn't changed. The path to democracy still leads right to your county clerk's door. And from the Durango Herald with a photo, A.P. Morgan Lee. A Democrat-backed bill to legalize recreational marijuana businesses in all towns and counties across New Mexico passed its first test late Tuesday amid heightened interested parties from businesses and healthcare advocates. The Senate Public Affairs Committee voted 4-3 along party lines to move along the measure that would subsidize medical marijuana and automatically expunge many past marijuana convictions. The committee had to convene on the Senate floor to accommodate crowds around a proposal that would subsidize medical marijuana for low-income patients and expunge many past marijuana convictions. An initial draft of the bill from Democratic Senator Gerald Ortiz y Pino of Albuquerque would also override local governments that don't welcome the industry. The condition is an attempt to stamp out black markets. Quote, "This is the future," Ben Lewinger, executive director of the New Mexico Cannabis Chamber of Commerce, told lawmakers, quote, "New Mexico doesn't have time to waste precious years." But the future of the bill remains uncertain as it moves to the Senate Judiciary Committee, where Chairman Senator Joseph Cervantes, a moderate Democrat from Las Cruces, has said he had concerns about legalizing recreational marijuana in the state. Under the proposal, every recreational dispensary would be required to also offer medical marijuana to patients who qualify under a long list of conditions such as cancer, post-traumatic stress, and chronic pain. New Mexico founded its medical cannabis program back in 2007. The initiative was condemned as a threat to workplace and road safety by a coalition that includes the local Roman Catholic Church, Greater Albuquerque Chamber of Commerce, and Smart Approaches to Marijuana, a nonpartisan group opposed to marijuana legalization. With New Mexico routinely ranked near the bottom of the country, in terms of education, overall economy, opportunity, drug use, and crime, this is the worst possible option at the worst possible time, said a statement from Alan Sanchez, executive director of the New Mexico Conference of Catholic Bishops. Lincoln County Sheriff Robert Shepard said that the state's law enforcement leaders also have concerns about how deputies will spot motorists suspected of driving under the influence of marijuana. Terry Cole, president and CEO at Greater Albuquerque Chamber of Commerce, said businesses also were worried about the lack of technology to test employees for marijuana use, especially because of federal contract requirements. Authors of the legislation say it responds to concerns about affordability and access to medical marijuana in states including Oregon that have authorized recreational marijuana. No state yet mandates medical cannabis sales at all marijuana shops, according to the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. A bipartisan legalization bill last year that involved state-run cannabis stores won House approval by a 2-vote margin before stalling in the Senate, where several moderate Democrats have openly opposed legalization. Deliberations begin this year in the Senate, where a handful of Republicans have backed past legalization efforts and some Democrats are firmly against it. This year's initiative hews closely to recommendations of a legalization policy task force assembled by Governor Michelle Lujan-Grisham and led by Albuquerque City Councilor Pat Davis. The bill would reserve tax revenue from marijuana sales for law enforcement agencies and public education efforts to prevent intoxicated driving. It breaks with task force recommendations by allowing small quantities of homegrown marijuana. And today's High Canyon Country happenings. January 31st from 10:30 to 12 noon, Mancos Public Library is teaming up with Montezuma School to Farm Project, Mountain Studies Institute, and other local partners for weekly science explorations in our outdoor classroom. We will be learning about everything from circuits and electronics to water quality testing of the Mancos River, they say. This program is designed for kids 8 to 12, but younger children are welcome as long as they have an adult with them. February 1st, Riding the Woods. Join Lorena Williams, writer and wildland firefighter, for a presentation and workshop for nature writers. Learn techniques for writing about landscapes and the environment, whether it's the ranch you grew up on or a flower outside your window. Ever wonder how to create memories, places, and the human landscape connection, rendering them luminous and not cliche? We will explore the pitfalls and effective approaches to crafting original lyric description while doing justice to both nature and narrative. It's $40 per person. Limited seats are available. Lorena is going to offer another class February 29th after this one. If anyone who is interested in both classes with prepayment, the second class will be only $30 instead of $40. Second class will be called Writing the Winter. To register, you can call 970-560-0333 or email her at peggy@willowtail.org. Or for payment, you can send a check to P.O. Box 89, Mancos, Colorado 81328, or pay through PayPal. This all happens at the Willowtail Springs Nature Preserve and Education Center on County Road 39. February 2nd, that's Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, at 12 p.m. at the Montezuma Fairgrounds in Cortez, all 4-H or FFA beef members must tag in to qualify to show at the fair. Beef also must be weighed in to be entered into the weight of gain contest. For additional information, please call the Extension office here in Dolores County. It's 677-2283, or your beef superintendent. And I post up all of these High Canyon Country happenings on our Facebook page, which is DCTV News at Noon, where you can also watch the program replay along with news links and stories of local interest. And you too can share other events or news there and join in on the conversation. Again, this is your local community TV station, so if you have something you'd like to share, contact us. The email is dcbnnews@gmail.com, or you can call us at the station 970-677-4119. Thank you for tuning in to News at Noon. Programs are broadcast Monday through Friday with replays online on our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page. If you like the program, please like us there and follow us on Facebook. And if you would, share it with your family and friends. This has been a production of DCTV for the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Again, thank you for watching.